Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons. We're going to talk about Legends of Vox Machina, Season 2, Episode 10. There are spoilers for all of Legends of Vox Machina Amazon Prime series here. And specifically today, we're going to answer the question, where does your strength come from? This is the question that plagues Grog. He is struggling with his strength through all of season 2, right? And he literally he loses his physical strength, right? And there is this question. It's posed to him by another barbarian early in the season, right? And it says, and this other barbarian says to him, "Where does your strength come from?" And Grog is like, "Well, is it my weapons? Is it my muscles? Is it my rage?" And all these answers are wrong, right? And he comes to find that the truth of it for him, right? And he's wrong, but actually, this is Matthew Mercer's answer to the question, right? So Matthew Mercer is, let's get into it. Okay, so Legends of Vox Machina is the greatest Dungeons and Dragons story ever told. And the reason why is we have this question, where does your strength come from? This is an incredible question. This is a powerful question. This is a valuable question, right? And this is fundamentally an emotional, intellectual, and spiritual question, right? And you're like, no, Scott, this is about his physical strength. Were you even paying attention? Kevdak gets wrecked, right? So Grog is able to defeat his uncle, the Thunderlord of the Horde of Storms, and he defeats him with his friends, right? And they make it, and Matthew Mercer makes it crystal clear in this story that Kevdak is far stronger physically than Grog. But Grog destroys Kevdak, and the reason why is the strength is not physical. It is emotional, intellectual, and spiritual, right? And basically we get to a point where basically it is, it's fascinating. We get to a point where Grog is asking this question, where does my strength come from? Where does my strength come from? And I wanted to stop here. Like, one of the things is Legends of Vox Machina is the greatest Dungeons and Dragons story ever told. And the reason why is this question of where does your strength come from, a valuable, powerful, life-changing question that we're going to answer today, right? The reason this is here is Dungeons & Dragons isn't a game. It's a human improvement engine. And in my humble opinion, what you're seeing in Legends of Vox Machina is 50 years of rules perfection, 50 years of rules perfection. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say perfection, near perfection. 50 years of near rules, as 50 years of peak tabletop role-playing game rules. Dungeons & Dragons has the best rules in the world, and it is far better than anything that's ever going to be found on any of your scrub indie games, right? And the reason why is it's the real deal, and it's been improved for 5 decades, right? And nobody else has done any real innovation, right? Except for one organization, which is FFG. They did actually do narrative dice, which with symbols rather than numbers. That was a powerful innovation that came forward, but it was not enough to unseat Dungeons and Dragons. It simply wasn't enough, okay? But it was real innovation, so I want to give it its props, right? So that's the thing is, with Dungeons and Dragons, you ask real questions. You ask emotional, intellectual, and spiritual questions, and you could answer them in an emotional, intellectual, and spiritual way, according to Professor Dungeon Master, not me. Like, he said, he was the first to come out and say flat out that he thought Dungeons and Dragons had a spiritual element, right? And I really thank him for that. I think I'm so glad that I'm not the only one who has to come here and say powerful things about Dungeons and Dragons, and that others are starting to see the truth of Dungeons and Dragons, and that's good. That's a really good thing, right? So it's 50 years of near perfect tabletop role-playing game rules meeting the pinnacle of play. Matthew Mercer, the best dungeon master who was ever born, who gathered his friends together and gave them an opportunity to go on a roller coaster ride with him and made all of them millionaires, and showed exactly what can be done with Dungeons and Dragons, right? So this question is coming out of peak Dungeons and Dragons. This is peak Dungeons & Dragons. Legends of Vox Machina is peak Dungeons & Dragons. It happens in the D&D canon world, Exandria, Alexandria was made as a canon D&D world because Matthew Mercer knew that he could not take his treasure and make it trash under Pathfinder. Right? He's like, oh wait, I have good ideas. I don't want to waste them on Pathfinder. I better abandon Pathfinder as fast as I possibly can. Right? He figured that out 8 years ago, and there are fools returning to Pathfinder now. Right? They are trading treasure for trash. Just understand it. That's what's happening. Okay? Where does our strength come from? It is an incredibly valuable question. It is an emotional question. It is an intellectual question. It is a spiritual question. As posed within Legends of Vox Machina Season 2, right? And it's deep because Dungeons & Dragons is deep, right? Gary Gygax transformed human narrative in 1974 and said, I will make Manifold Sentience. That's what he did, in my humble opinion. And it changed the world. And that's why Legends of Vox Machina is asking these powerful, deep questions, okay? All right, so what is the answer? Here you go. Where does our strength come from? It comes from our God. I have the true God, right? He is the Holy Father, right? Connected to Jesus Christ, connected to the Holy Ghost, bound in the Trinity. He is the one true God, and I have strength. And I use it every single week. I lead a small group, and we come together, and everyone in that group shares every week problems that they have, and they have problems, right? And God answers them. We see answers to prayer every single week, right? Sometimes the answer is no, sometimes the answer is yes, but no one in our group would ever, we know, right? This last week we sang a song that says, "This is my Father's world. You live in my Father's world." I have the true God, right? I have strength. I can change your life with a single prayer. I build for the kingdom. I have 4 children, right? Those children, when I'm gone, parts of me are going to live on, right? And I have given each and every one of them the gospel, right? And it is my strong belief that each and every one of them is saved, right? And they will continue to spread the gospel when I'm gone. I got one of them who spreads the gospel every day right now, is far better, right, evangelist than I will ever be. And that person isn't like, and they're half my age, right, Now the reality is nobody knows their salvation status except them and God, right? But I'm very confident one, if not all of them, are powerful Christians, right? And the reality, and some of them are clearly better Christians than I will ever be, right? So I build, I have strength. I can change your world. I can change my world with a single prayer. You are nothing. You have no strength. Your false God gives you no strength, and your no God definitely gives you no strength. I am strong. You are weak, right? Now, you could become as strong as me with this simple prayer. Lord, I know I am a sinner. I know I cannot save myself. Please, may I have the salvation earned by Jesus Christ on the cross. Please save me, Lord. That is it. If you say that prayer and you believe it, you will be as strong as me literally 1 second after you're done saying that prayer. Until then, I am strong. You are weak. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.